Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you're watching Ba-Boom, the political vigilante making Gotham great again. We make Gotham great again because this is the People's Channel. You're the best and smartest fans in the world. That's what we do to make Gotham great again. And one of the great ways is support the show. You see below, you can do Patreon, do Rockfin, but come to a live show. Lee Camp and I are doing 3 live government secrets in Europe. Stockholm, October 3rd, Berlin, October 5th, London, UK, October 12th. Those tickets are at grahamelwood.com. And then I will be doing stand-up in October when I get back from the Europe to get ready for I'm talking like a robot, to get ready for my comedy specials taping. New York City, October 18th, Madison, Wisconsin, October 20th, Detroit, October 21st, Cincinnati, October 22nd, and Sweet Home Chicago, October 26th. The Chicago is where I will be recording my first ever stand-up comedy special. Very political, social commentary. I don't see any other comics talking about stuff the way I am, guys. So come check it out. Go to grahamelwood.com to buy tickets. And also you can sign up for the newsletter at grahamelwood.com as well. The reason I'm assuming you guys watch the show is I'm telling you the truth. And I'm reporting on stuff like climate change and how it's impacting people in ways the corporate media isn't. The corporate media is starting to talk about it, but they'll still talk about, oh, climate change is bad, and then cut to a commercial from Shell Oil or something like that, which I don't get any money from them. If they did give me money, I would still call them out. I don't care. I'm not going to change who I am for money or clicks or so I can buy houses or fancy cars or whatever. So here in California, we've had record temperatures, 110, over 110 degrees. Even at the beach, it's like crazy hot. So it's also causing wildfires, right? So this is just an NPR. This is from the Associated Press. California battled wildfires and faces blackouts during a brutal heat wave. Every summer, every late summer, fall, it feels like I'm saying the same thing, which is the wildfires are worse than they've ever been. We've had record drought all throughout the whole western half of the United States, which, of course, there's fires in Oregon, there's fires in Northern California. I mean, there's now fires in Southern California. There's been fires all throughout the western United States. And it's bone dry. So it is just a tinderbox. When Ron Placone and I were driving up the Pacific Northwest from Portland to Seattle to Vancouver, Canada, it was so dry and hot. I'd never seen that part of the country that dry and that hot in the 90s. That used to never happen. So we're in the middle of climate collapse. We need to do something about it. And what does Biden do? Oh, him and the Democrats, the Republicans have their little bitch ass cat fight to get $378 billion. That sounds like a lot of money, but it's spread out over 10 years. So it's $37 billion a year for 10 years. Wow. We've already given twice that. We've already given $70 billion to the Ukraine. So that's, in essence, 2 years of our climate policies worth of money to the Ukraine just in about 5-6 months for war. And now that Putin shut down the Nord pipeline, Western Europe is going to be in a lot of trouble. So the sanctions against Russia are actually hurting Europe, not Russia. Way to go. But we need to talk about this because this is real and it's going to take big sweeping change. Not some little Mickey Mouse $37 billion a year. Why is climate? We have to fight and have all this two-party bickering just to get $37 billion a year. But bipartisan support in Congress for a war budget increase to $839 billion. $37 billion of that Biden didn't even ask for. So they gave Biden $37 extra billion that he didn't ask for. So an extra year's worth of climate policy, Biden just gets for free, doesn't even ask for it. There's no argument. There's no debate. There's no, Mitch McConnell and Pelosi having their little stupid arguments on the news. God, none of that crap. So if we don't do anything about it, more of this is going to happen. I mean, there's floods. We've had record floods, and we show how bad the floods are when after a record drought, the soil is so hard that it cannot absorb the rain. So the water just rushes over it like it's cement. There's record droughts in Europe. One of these rivers in France is like bone dry. We've shown you the Salt Lake in Utah. Salt Lake is literally, it's so dry. It's the soil, the dried soil is releasing arsenic into the air. That'll be good for the citizens of Salt Lake. See, climate change doesn't care if you're a red state or a blue state. It doesn't care. It doesn't care if you wear a MAGA hat. It doesn't care if you danced in the streets for creepy Joe Biden. It doesn't care. It's coming. And you can make the argument, sure, the Democrats are at least doing something over the Republicans. Yeah, but it's not enough. Climate change is not a thing you can do incremental centrism for. It'll mean we're all going to die by the year, 2045 rather than, 2040 if it was the Republicans. It's literally these Band-Aids on climate collapse are going to buy us an extra 5 to 10 years, maybe, before the civilization goes extinct. Or you can keep tweeting about Andrew Tate said something mean or whatever, him and Jordan Peters. I don't care. Anyway, here's the story. State energy officials said the electrical load Tuesday afternoon could top 51,000 megawatts, the highest demand the state has ever seen. So yesterday in California on Labor Day, they were like, guys, that the heat wave goes into Wednesday. We could have to do rolling blackouts. I've been in California 20 years ago doing rolling blackouts. That was created because George Bush, then the governor of Texas, gave Enron money and allowed them to stick it to California. Anyway, we got a great political system. But blackouts, rolling, rotating outages are a possibility. This is the guy said from the Energy Board of the state of California. Mainzier said, calling additional conservation absolutely essential. Gee, so instead of spending $839 billion on war, what if we cut our military budget in half to $419 billion a year, which would still be $200 billion more than China. So if we're worried about, we won't be outspending, yeah, we will. We could cut our military budget in half and still outspend China by $200 billion. We should be spending $200 billion a year, if not more. So Wall Street gets literally trillions of dollars of bailouts, but we can't do enough of this. Every home in the Sun Belt in California should have solar panels with a battery backup, but the energy companies won't let you do that. You wouldn't have a rolling blackout if you had solar panels with a battery backup, would you? You wouldn't have to worry about that, would you? If you're tied into the city's power grid and the city's and the utility company's power that they charge you for, see, they can't make any money once you buy the solar panels and get the battery backup. They can't do anything about that. They can't make money off of it. So we're all going to burn to death, right? 4 deaths were reported over the Labor Day weekend as some 4,400 firefighters battled 14 large fires around the state, with 45 new blazes on Sunday alone. God, I feel like a broken record doing this literally every fire season in California. Everyone. Roughly 50 miles southeast of Los Angeles, the fire had quickly spread more than 2,000 acres by 11 p.m., prompting evacuations and was only 5% contained. Multiple residential structures burned. This is in Riverside County, which is like east of Los Angeles. Solar power begins to fall off so just to be clear, a lot of California's energy comes from solar and natural gas powered plants, which natural gas, in order to get that, you have to do fracking, which creates more earthquakes and poisons the water. So natural gas is not great at all. But again, solar power begins to fall off during the late afternoon into the evening, which is the hottest time of the day in some parts of the state. And some of the aging natural gas plants. Oh, I'm so glad we don't spend money on infrastructure, but we keep spending money on endless wars and Wall Street bailouts. Isn't it great? Do you need air conditioning? Do you have a senior citizen in your home? Do you have a respirator in your home or something like that? Or just your food's going to spoil? That's what rolling blackouts are going to bring. Isn't that great? And some of the aging natural gas plants California relies on for backup power aren't as reliable in hot weather. But again, because everything is for profit in America, even utilities, even electricity. Everybody in California and Arizona and Nevada and New Mexico and Texas and could all have solar panels with a battery backup. See where it says right here, the late afternoon, it's not is good. It falls off. Well, if you had a battery backup, you would store it in a battery. The National Weather Service predicted highs between 100 and 115 degrees across inland California, with 80s to 90s closer to the coast. Labor strikes are working for workers in America to get fair wages at Starbucks and Amazon and other places like that. We got to come up with some kind of strategy for the climate, because these elected officials are the dumbest idiots. I mean, the Republican Party just flat out denies climate change, right? They just deny it. The Democrats say we're going to do something about it, and then the stuff they do is nothing. We can't afford incremental centrism is not going to fix this problem, which is what the Democrats offer, is incremental centrism. We're going to need drastic top-down solutions. And they're there. The solutions are there. I've done video after video after video of all of these solutions that are already there. They just need money behind them. They need to be scaled up with hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars, which America has. A Green New Deal would give a lot of Americans jobs. We could be, look at the floods that are happening in Georgia. Earlier in the summer, we had them in Kentucky. What if we had a national pipeline for water, not natural gas? Gas and oil leaks and contaminates the water, but oil. So we could literally drain the water, store it that's in Georgia, relieve them of the flood, and send the water to the West Coast where we need it. No, we don't have that plan. We have laser guided missiles, right? We have the F-35, which costs $1.5 trillion. Well, that's been a complete waste of time and money, right? We've got enough nuclear armaments to blow the planet up like 200 times over or something insane like that, but we can't seem to figure out droughts, floods, fires. We can't seem to figure out these. We just can't. Oh, there's not enough money and resources. We have contaminated water in Jackson, Mississippi we can't even fix. It'll take about $3 billion to fix it. Oh, that's right. We just sent $3 billion to the Ukraine. And not that we shouldn't be helping the Ukrainian people, but we helped create that war. This shouldn't have even happening. We could be negotiating with Russia and having peace. Instead, we box them into a corner and force them to do this. This is the plan all along, is to force Putin into doing this, by the way. America is the problem, and its own citizens are suffering. Its own citizens are suffering, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I tell you the truth. It's the People's Channel. You know, I know it feels like we're all alone, but that's why you got to come to a live show. We laugh. We talk about there's other stuff happening. We find solutions. You're in a room full of people. There's solutions out there, guys. Look, take a page out of the labor organizing and start doing that with regard to climate. Start protesting, going on strike, shutting stuff down until real climate laws are put in place. Seriously. And go to opensecrets.org to find out which of your favorite politicians to get money from the oil lobby and the utility companies. You'll be shocked. Might be the Squad, might be some of your favorite liberal Democrats selling out. Climate change doesn't care if you believe it or not. So it's not a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. It's not a progressive issue or a liberal issue. It's a human issue, and it's a survival issue. And if we don't address it, we're all going to be dead. So follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.